Hello, good morning, and welcome to This Date in History, also known as TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things that we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the Smart Device application, Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music, and anything else potentially interesting that we gather throughout the show, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am A.O. Xander, and you are you. Today is Tuesday, aka Tuesday, aka Tuesday, July 19th, 2022. So what happened on this date in history? We will start off in the year 1425, in which Duke John VI of Brabant pledged Holland/Zeeland to Philip the Good. That's interesting. Jumping up to 1545, King Henry VIII's flagship Mary Rose sunk at Portsmouth, resulting in 73 fatalities. Damn, that sucks. 1553, 15-year-old Lady Jane Grey, deposed as England's queen after 9 days. Jane Grey, huh? Like, isn't that an X-Men, or an X-person, whatever it is anymore nowadays? A mutant, Jean Grey, not Janeway. That's a fleet captain for Star Trek. Anyway, moving on up into 1569, Albert Frederick became Duke of Prussia. Okay, that's an interesting hat. I want that. He can keep the collar, but that hat. And here's another hat. It looks like a cloth thimble. 1590, King Philip II's secretary Antonio Perez escaped jail. 5 years later, 1595, astronomer Johannes Kepler had an epiphany. I wonder if it hurt. And developed his theory of the geometrical basis of the universe while teaching in Graz. That's interesting. Geometrical basis of the universe. So let me check that out here. What does that even mean? I think it means something. Cosmological evidence suggests that the part of the universe we can see is smooth and homogeneous, at least approximately. The local fabric of space looks much the same at every point and in every direction. Only 3 geometries fit this description: flat, spherical, and hyperbolic. Okay, well that's interesting. So I'll just put this link in the underbar then, for anybody who wants to go to it. So where'd my thing go? There you are. Okay. Alright, so putting in the link, there you go. Moving on up, we go to 1674, in which the Court of Holland banned the books of Hobbes, Spinoza, and Meyer. Well, that's not good. You never ban books. Never, 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 I don't know, make them, topical or something, put a warning on them, but, don't ban books. No. 1692, 5 more people were hanged for witchcraft, total of 19, in Salem, Massachusetts. Salem witch trials. What is this? Dramatic lithograph of the Salem witch trials produced in 1892. What, is she getting hit by lightning from God? What's going on here? Everybody's like, oh, Or did she strike him down? We have a man on the floor here. So I don't know. Something's going on that I don't understand. In 1702, Swedish troops under King Charles XII occupied Krakow. That's in Poland, right? Yeah, I think. Krakow? Poland? Where's Krakow? Krakow is in Poland. Okay, I was right. In 1836, HMS Beagle with Charles Darwin arrived in Ascension Island. Interesting. 1843, the steamship SS Great Britain was launched, designed by Isambard Kingdom Brunel. It was the first ocean-going craft with an iron hull or screw propeller and the largest vessel afloat in the world. Well, that's cool. That's a big boat. 1848, the first U.S. Women's Rights Convention held in Seneca Falls, New York, organized by Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Lucretia Mott. Yes, I'm in full support of first wave and even second wave feminism. I've made that a point before. 1867, U.S. Congress passed the Third Reconstruction Act over President Andrew Johnson's veto. So what is the Third Reconstruction Act? Let's take a look at that here. What is it? What was the Third Reconstruction Act? These acts divided the former Confederate states into 5 military districts, required new state constitutions that recognized voting rights of black men, and demanded state ratification of the 14th Amendment, which guaranteed civil rights for all citizens before readmission into the Union. Alright, that sounds very fair and, good. So, for further reading on that subject, I'm putting this link here in the underbar as well. So what happened on this date in history? 1869, just 2 years after the previous article, Louis Rail spoke at the meeting of Metis residents about rights, setting in motion the event now referred to as the Red River Rebellion. What is the Red River Rebellion? Looking up all sorts of things today, aren't we? Let's see here. The Red River Rebellion, also known as the Red River Resistance, Red River Uprising, or First Riel Rebellion, was the sequence of events that led up to the 1869 establishment of a provisional government. ... So here we go, another link to add into the underbar. Wunderbar. Alright. Man, we're still in the 1800s. We already have 3 links. We're on a roll today. Oh, now we're in 1910. Cy Young won the 500th game of his Baseball Hall of Fame career as the Cleveland Naps beat Washington Senators 5-2 in 11 innings. The only pitcher in MLB history to reach this milestone. Dang. Interesting. That's really cool. Speaking of baseball, in 1920, Babe Ruth, the great Bambino, hit his 30th home run of the 1920 baseball season, breaking his own single-season record. He would attain 53 throughout the season before breaking that record the next year. Man, this guy is habitual. 2 years later, in 1922, U.S. swimmer Johnny Weissmuller was the first to break a 1-minute barrier for the 100-meter freestyle, swimming in at 58.6 seconds at Alameda, California. Cool. 8 years later, in 1930, Richard E. Byrd, Lawrence McKinley Gould, and their polar expedition team returned to the United States following the first exploration of the interior of Antarctica. 6 years later, 1936, 17-year-old Cleveland Indians future Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher Bob Feller made his Major League Baseball debut in relief in 9-5 toss to Senators at Griffith Stadium, Washington. 1940, Adolf Hitler ordered Great Britain to surrender. They declined. Yep. You stupid mustache man. 1941, the British Broadcasting Company World Service began playing V, Victory, in Morse code, opening of Ludwig von Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. Oh, okay. Alright, so that's interesting. So yeah, they started playing some kind of Morse code thing. I wonder why. 1941 as well, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill launched his V for Victory campaign. Oh, okay, well that sounds like it correlates with that. So V, Victory, ... and Morse code. 1941 as well. Wow, looks like we're going to be stuck in 41 for a second here. Tom and Jerry first appeared under their own names in a cartoon, The Midnight Snack, by William Hanna and Joseph Barbera. Tom and Jerry. Hey, cool. And in 1941, U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt appointed the Fair Employment Practice Committee, the FEPC, FEPC? FEPC? What is that, anyway? So what is the FEPC? It was, banning discriminatory employment practices by federal agencies and all unions and companies engaged in war-related work. Alright, good, yeah, and then they use that to expand upon it. So essentially, beggars can't be choosers. Did I hear another voice? No, I did not. I'm just hearing things now. Alright. Where did my internet go? Here it is. Okay. Moving on up into 1942, U.S. premiere of Dmitri Shostakovich's Seventh Symphony in New York City by the NBC, or National Broadcasting Company, Symphony Orchestra under Arturo Toscanini in a concert broadcast nationwide on NBC Radio. Cool. 2 years later, 1944, Swedish diplomat Raoul Wallenberg was the first to meet Adolf Eichmann. Eichmann. Yeah. Or actually, no, he first met Adolf Eichmann, not the first to meet him. Yeah, that's kind of weird. No, he first met Adolf Eichmann, so okay, whatever. That was worded weird. Also in 1944, U.S. General Omar Bradley flew to England. Yeah. 2 3 years later, in 1947, Prime Minister of Shadow Burma government, Bogyok Aung San, and 6 of his cabinet and 2 non-cabinet members were assassinated by armed paramilitaries. So they all got mowed down. Dang, that sucks. 1950, Pope Pius XII published Encyclical Summi Meritus. What is that? Let's take a look at that here. Is one of several peace encyclicals of Pope Pius XII's, focusing in particular on the dangers of peace during the Holy Year. Wait, what? The dangers of peace? Why is it danger to be peace? It was given at Rome at St. Peter's on July 19th, 1950, the 12th year of his pontificate. Alright, well, for further reading on this particular thing, I'm adding this into the underbar. And add it. That was interesting. 1954, Elvis Presley's debut single, a cover of Arthur Crudup's "That's All Right," was released. Wow, so they were doing YouTube stuff before YouTube stuff. So essentially, what Justin Bieber was doing was like, what Elvis Presley did. So, well, I don't have any respect or admiration for either of them. So yeah. Anyway, 1964 PGA Championship Men's Golf at Columbus Country Club. Bobby Nichols won his only major title by 3 strokes from Big Two. Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer led wire to wire. Dang. Jack Nicholas, not to be confused with Jack Nicholson. But then Arnold Palmer, man, the Big Two, those are Big Two. 1969, Apollo 11 went into the moon's orbit. Here we go. Here we go. Actually, they landed tomorrow, right? I think. I don't know. We'll figure out tomorrow. 1970, the 57th Tour de France. Defending champion Eddy Merckx of Belgium won general, mountains, and combination categories. 3 years later, 1973, New York Mets future Baseball Hall of Fame outfielder Willie Mays was named to a National League All-Star team for the 24th time, tied with Stan Musial. Cool. 1974, David Bowie's Diamond Dog Tour ended in New York City. Yeah, David Bowie died in 2016, right? Yeah. 2016 was an awful year, but that was just, that was the trailer for what would eventually become 2020, which was, the tutorial level, and then 2021 became the first level, and now we're in 2020, the sequel, 2022. 1981, British Open Men's Golf at Royal St. George's Golf Club. U.S. Bill Rogers won his only major title, 4 strokes ahead of runner-up Bernhard Langer of Germany. 1982, the first annual Cracker Jack Old-Timers Classic, 75-year-old Luke Appling, classic. 75-year-old Luke Appling hit a 250-foot home run off Warren Spahn. The American League beat the National League 7-2. Yeah, that there was supposed to be like a semicolon or a colon here or something, like just kind of ran off. Somebody needs to learn punctuation. 1984, Geraldine Ferraro, a U.S. representative for New York, became the first U.S. female major party vice presidential nominee, officially joining Walter Mondale's Democratic Party ticket. Interesting. 2 years later, in 1986, Tim Witherspoon knocks out Frank Bruno in 11 for heavyweight boxing title. 365 days later, in 1987, Don Mattingly set an American League record of extra base hits in 10 consecutive games. 1989, Cleveland Indians' Joe Carter ran his 4th 3-hour game. Dang. That's fourth 3-home run game, not hour. 3-home run game. Well, that's still pretty good home runs. 1 year later, in 1990, Cincinnati Red Pete Rose was sentenced to 5 months for tax evasion. Aww. Come on, man. And why does that look like the Cubs logo? 1990, and why does this guy look like George W. Bush? 1990, Dave Reggedy pitched in his 499th game as a New York Yankee, passing Whitey Ford in most appearances as a New York Yankee. Yeah, I'd have the same pace. Not bad. 1991, Cal Ripken played his 1,500th consecutive game. 1991 as well, Mike Tyson struggle snuggled a Miss Black America contestant, specifically Desiree Washington. I didn't know what really to call it, so I had to go through my mental thesaurus. Struggle snuggle. 1992 Federation Cup Women's Tennis, Frankfurt, Germany. Germany won second title with 2-1 win over Spain. Steffi Graf clinched a final 6-4, 6-2 against Arantuxa Sanchez Vicario. Moving on up into 1993, the last day of the first class cricket for Ian Botham. So his last day, okay. Also in 1993, President Bill Clinton fired FBI Director William S. Sessions. Dang. He was firing people before Trump made it popular. 2007 TV drama Mad Men debuted starring John Hamm, Elizabeth Moss, and Vincent Kartheiser on cable network AMC. AMC, what does AMC stand for? American Movie Corporation? I think so, something like that. 2009, the 17 ESPY Awards, Michael Phelps and Natasha Liukin won. Now, why aren't they dragging Michael Phelps through the mud like they're doing to Lance Armstrong? You know, because they caught Michael Phelps, he smoked weed at some point involving some swimming competition, and he got put on the bench for a while and everything. And I thought he was like gone until like that meme of him having like the evil face, like Michael Phelps face. Yeah, this one. Everybody remembers this meme. Come on, it's Dark Phelps. Anyway, 2011, Captain America: The First Avenger, directed by Joe Johnson, starring Chris Evans and Haley Atwell, premiered in Los Angeles. Well, number one, Chris Evans, you can go fuck yourself. And number two, man, that was 2011. I thought that came out a lot earlier than that. That's way more recent than I actually thought. 2 years later, in 2013, Selena Gomez released her debut solo studio album, Stars Dance. 2017, investigators using DNA identify 16-year-old James Byron Hackinson as a victim of serial killer John Wayne Gacy 41 years after his disappearance. Dang. That's... wow, dude. DNA forensic evidence, man. 2017, U.S. Senator John McCain was diagnosed with brain cancer. That sucks. Oh, hey, the whale. 2018, Airbus Beluga XL, painted to look like the whale, made its first flight, landing in Toulouse-Blagnac, France. That's an interesting plane. Like, the cockpit is right here, so it, like, really is a whale. It's like the whole front opens up, and it's designed to carry other planes. Like, it's crazy. And 2020, just 2 years ago, Iran's President Hassan Rouhani said 25 million Iranians were already infected with COVID-19. 35 more million were at risk. The official figure was 269,440. Ah, what a load of crap. Also in 2020, World Formula One Drivers' Champion Lewis Hamilton won a record 8th Hungarian Grand Prix in Budapest to equal Michael Schumacher's record of wins at a single circuit, the French GP Grand Prix. Before we move on into Burst of Deaths today, were there any articles that sparked your attention? Let's open up a dialogue down in the comment section. Were there any questions involving things I've said? Was there anything I skimmed over, that you saw by chance? Anything you want to talk about? Open up a dialogue, like, just because the video is over, or will be over eventually, doesn't mean that, we should stop talking. Like, keep it going. Keep the information train chugga choo choo. In 1814, Samuel Colt was born on this date. He was an American inventor and industrialist. The Colt 6-shot revolver, born in Hartford, Connecticut, dying in 1862. Happy birthday, Mr. Colt. Thank you for what you've done. So, yeah. 1834, Edgar Degas, French impressionist painter, sculptor, and artist. The Bellelay family, born in Paris, died in 1917. Oh, man. Hopefully he wasn't in Paris or anywhere in that area of Europe in 1917, but close to the front lines. 1860, Lizzie Borden was an American woman acquitted of the murder of her parents, gave her mother 40 whacks. Oh yeah, that one. Born in Fall River, Massachusetts, died in 1927. So that nursery rhyme that I just, partially quoted, it's about her. Oh yeah. Vladimir Mayakovsky, born in 1893. On this date, he was the Russian poet and playwright. Ode to Revolution and the Bathhouse. Born in Baghdadi, Russian Empire, died in 1930. Old style 7-7. Okay. Wow, what a scowl. Man. But I want that hat. Although it looks a little feminine. I don't know why. It's kind of like it's an ambiguous hat. See here. Sofia Muratova, 1929, was a Russian gymnast. 1952 through 1960 Olympics. 6 gold, 3 silvers, and 4 bronzes. Born in Leningrad, Russia. Dying in 2006. Wow, that's recent. Dang. Aili Natasi, 1946, is a Romanian tennis player, U.S. Open 1974, born in Bucharest, Romania. Interesting. Who else was born on this date? Vitaly Klitschko, 1971, Ukrainian boxer, 3-time world heavyweight champion, only heavyweight to reign as world champion in 3 different decades, and mayor of Kiev, 2014 through current, so he's probably still the mayor. Born in Belovodskoye, Kyrgyzstan, Soviet Union. Ooh, so he's a Soviet. Dang. Benadryl Cumberthorne. No, Benedict Cumberbatch. I know how to pronounce his name. 1976, British actor, 12 Years a Slave, and Sherlock. 12 Years a Slave? Wow. Isn't he also Doctor Strange in Doctor Strange? Born in London, England. Okay, that's a little bland, but hey, he's British. What do you expect? And moving on into deaths today. Let's get rid of these. We have 1824, Augustin de Iturbide. In 1824, he was crowned Augustin I. He died on this date. He was a Mexican army general, politician, and the first emperor of Mexico, who was executed by firing squad at the age of 40. Dang. Wow. So that's the first emperor of Mexico and ended up dying by firing squad. That's a storied history right there. In 1947, Aung San was a Burmese general and nationalist politician assassinated by armed paramilitaries along with 6 members of his cabinet at the age of 32. Oh yeah, this guy. Okay, yeah, we spoke about him earlier. 1964, Syngman Rhee, the first president of South Korea from 1948 through 60, died at the age of 90. Well, thank you for your service. I think, wasn't he corrupt? I don't know. Like, there's some more storied history involving South Korean officials. 1977, Noel Wine was a U.S. aviation pioneer. Wine Air Alaska, died at the age of 78. Well, dang. Who else died on the States? That's it. That concludes the show. Once again, check the underbar of the description for any links that you may find interesting, which also includes, Soen's Twitch, includes Muffin's YouTube channel, and includes all the other all the other platforms that we are located on. Rumble, BitChute, our Odyssey, we have it, but it costs money, there. And I don't think I put in our Instagram, although I never posting. I don't even know what to do on Instagram. I'm an old fart. Anyway, we stream every day at 10 in the morning Pacific time. For all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander, and you are you. And until you catch us tomorrow, do not forget to look right and left at, every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Until then, toodles! Let's go, Brandon. Nope, wrong.